Hey everybody, we are coming at you with the middle section of Kevin Hart. So we were only on page 50, but this book is just like every other book. We're just going to get involved. We're just going to cover what we're going to cover. We're going to cover it for 3 weeks. This is the holidays, so we are not coming every other week. This is the only day we're coming in December, and then we're going to start back up every other week in January, and that'll start January 8th. Is that the day?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
she texted me.
So that's the date. So this is like our little Christmas get together. So we've got our Christmas gear on, obviously, and so just bear with us. But the book we're reading is I Can't Make This Up: Life Lessons by Kevin Hart. And I will say this, I'm not even reading ahead because I want it to be fresh whenever we get together. Like, I read this weekend.
Yeah.
The other one I read the weekend right before we came together. So I'll read this the weekend before the 8th. Because it's really great. Like, he really lets you in his life. I feel like he's not really holding back. He's being very honest and truthful. The good, the bad, the ugly. Like, he's just letting us know it all.
Yes.
So they got some really cute pictures in here too.
Yeah, I like the
So we stopped on page 50, I think.
Yeah, 49.
Yeah, 49.
Secrets of an International Playboy.
Yeah. So it's getting good here.
That looked just like his mom cutting his hair.
Yes, so his mom used to cut his hair, so haircuts are really important to him. Later on at the end of the book, like kind of the section that I don't know how far we're going to go, but technically we read to page 250. There's a part in there where he is in a new area. Where was he at? He wasn't in New York. He went to LA, right?
Yeah, he went to Los Angeles,
and
he was going to Philadelphia, I want to say.
So he's from Philadelphia. Then he went to New
York.
York,
doing the little shows
and
stuff.
Then he went to LA. And in LA, he was trying to find a barber, and it was so important to him. And in LA, the nightclub life was different. So what did they say? You know when you're making it because you're able to make it in New York. Because when you go to New York, you're going there every night, and you're doing 5 to 6 gigs a night.
5 to 6 shows.
You could do up to 15 because there's so many clubs, so many different people to cater to. And what does Chris say? And he says at one point that he wants to be able to make all people laugh. He doesn't just want to make one type of person laugh. He wants to be good at every club he goes, regardless to who they cater to or what the mood there is or whatever.
What their clientele is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that was really cool. Like, he is so about his craft. Like, he's giving up so many things. Like, he had an excellent job at the shoe store.
Yes.
Gave that up.
Shoes and stuff. It's just all about his drive to strive and get to where he wanted to be. I mean, some of the shows.
I'm impressed with him.
Yeah, some of the shows that
His
he
work ethic's
did,
excellent.
I never heard of just doing a show for food.
Yes,
they give
French fries. He said it's just a Coke. It's not even a whole meal. It's French fries and a Coke.
Yeah, but he
was
just wanted the experience, wanted to get out there and stuff. So he was taking anything that they would give him, riding with his friend, driving his friend all around for 12 hours, just looking and just exploring and stuff. He wanted to jump on stage so bad, and it's like, you're not ready. Just write down notes, take notes, watching this and that. And I mean, the dude just abused them all throughout. Dummy this, dummy that. But he put up with it, you know what I'm saying, because he had a dream. He had a destiny that he was trying to achieve.
So I don't even know if we're going to go through all the chapters. Maybe the best thing to do is to summarize.
Yes, I think summarize.
Kind of what we did, because you'll get lost in every chapter. Every chapter is a story about his life. I love it. I think it's so endearing. It's so sweet. And I always have liked him. There's something about him, and it's likability.
He's the fun guy. He's the fun guy.
It's something about him, though, like, every time I see a show of his, I'm like, he's the kind of person that I could just like drink a rum and Coke with and chit chat at the bar. You know, like, he just seems just so
down to earth.
Yeah, like, and he wouldn't have a problem interacting with you and just enjoying a moment with you and then carrying on and going about his business. Like, and you get that feeling in the book too. And the thing that I like about his mom, did we cover the part about the checks?
No, we just really talked about how she was with the knife throwing and
Yeah.
how she was real hard on him. But yeah, I do want you to speak on that part because that really touched me. Because his mom, you know, he was struggling, quit his job at the sneaker store, and he was determined to be a comedian, and he wasn't getting the shows. You know, I think he was getting like maybe $15, $25 a show here and there, sometimes food or whatever, and he still had rent to pay, and his mom, like, she would support him and stuff. No matter what he wanted to do, she was going to support him, and she gave him like a check for a couple months rent and stuff, and gave him a Bible, told him read your Bible and stuff. And
No, she said, promise me that you'll try to read this Bible, and
And
then
we
I'll
did.
help you out with the rent. Don't worry about it, son.
Yes.
Well, she was helping him out with the rent, but he was not reading his Bible. And in the Bible
Check stuff.
were all the other checks.
Yes.
Then he kept going to his mom, like, Mom, you said you were going to help
Give
me.
me
I
a
don't.
check.
Yeah, and they were like kind of getting into it, but she just
like,
stayed
"Did you
on her
read your
word.
Bible?"
That's all she would
and the
say.
whole time they were just sitting inside that Bible, and when he opened it finally, like a year's worth of checks came out that she already had given him.
And he was
written
probably
out
4
for him.
months in, behind,
He was
getting ready
4
to get
months,
evicted.
yeah, about to get. He's
Had
like,
all
I
these
got
checks here.
evicted, and he borrowed money from his first girlfriend, Tori Hart or whatever. He borrowing money from her and stuff, and their relationship was just
Crazy.
all over the place because he spent so
Toxic.
many nights.
But he married her.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He
Took a couple
married
kids
her and
with her.
stuff. He got a couple kids by her and stuff, but you know.
After they all grew up, they could be friends again.
Because they had a tumultuous relationship. Really, they did. Fighting, and more fighting.
Yeah. So they like got together, and the thing, you can't really like think like she's just a crazy person. She's just a human like everybody else. Number one, they're young. Because you got to think like he made it big when he was close to 25, right? 23, 25,
Yeah.
something like that.
He
He
was
started
really
really making
young.
it big, getting like in some things. And he was in this relationship since he was in high school.
Like 17 years
Yeah.
old and stuff.
So like that's a young relationship that he's trying to hold on to because he's really not so much, at the beginning it wasn't like he was promiscuous or anything like that. He was just dedicated to his craft. People that don't understand comedy don't recognize that part of making it big is hanging out at these clubs, having a drink with the guys, sitting at these tables, creating this camaraderie with other comedians, and you want to get their respect because they open every door for you. That's kind of how it is. You had to get
You
on
have
the
to
table.
network.
Look, remember how long he had to sit at the bar
At the
at a
little
different table?
table.
Then eventually he was invited to the table. Then eventually he started talking smack with them, which is what he missed when he went to LA. They didn't have that, but he found it in the barbershops there. That he likes that challenge, like when someone confronts you and then you have to come up with something. Because his idea always is, you know, I don't want to fight, I want to make you laugh. Wasn't that something
That
like
was
that?
hard for his girlfriend to understand. She's sitting
Yeah.
at home alone, and
Yes, and that's why I
she
say
thinks he's cheating on her, whatever. And she and her mom even support him also, and all that stuff.
and
you
he's
know,
wrecking cars because he's
Wrecking,
tired.
steady wrecking her car. I just can't even believe it, but like, my goodness, you know, she went through a lot with him. She really, really did, but love will do that for you. I mean,
Yeah.
they calling the police on each other and everything. He had to start making his comedy acts about what was actually going on in his life. But I like the fact that he just, I mean, he's just a real person. I mean, he simply is. And everything he tell you, I mean, I think he goes a lot into how he made it and the time that it took for him to get to where he's at, because his biggest thing was Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live. He had an audition.
And he was
for
hurt
it.
because he couldn't, he felt like he didn't get the job because he couldn't do impersonations, but that wasn't his thing. So, but I will say this, his mom helped make life easy for him, even though she made life so hard for him.
Yes.
Like her bus schedule, her strictness, the babysitter till you're like 16 years old. You know what I mean? Like this tight thing, the swim team, like all these things that she kept him busy with made it so easy for him to be dedicated to other things in life because he understood a schedule. He understood like that you just have to keep
Management.
going on and that you have to keep meeting your commitments. And his first comedic situation was at the graduation of his swim team. everybody had a speech and everybody won a prize, and he was kind of a slacker sometimes and just did it because he knew he had to do it. He knew he wasn't going to get away with not doing it.
They gave him a just because ribbon.
They gave him for attendance because he was never allowed to not be there. And so when he went up there, like, he joked about it, but he had this relationship with them, so everyone understood his jokes. It was him being himself in jokes, which is later what is it called when somebody's your mentor? His mentors keep telling him to do that. Make the comedy about you, because that's how you become authentic, and that's how you can't be like this person and you become your own comedian, because everyone's story is going to be different. So if you keep your comedy about your life, the things you're going through, your perspective on what you're going through, that will make it authentic, and then that's when you create that name for yourself, because that's when you become who you are.
He's like, his name was Lil Kev the Bastard.
And was it Dirty Bastard or
Lil Kev the
Okay.
Bastard, and so, you know, he had a whole persona to do with that name, and they, like, you know, his mentor, like, when you get off the stage, what does people actually know about you? Because he's making up everything. You know, he was like, tell some life experiences, make it about you, so when they get off the stage, when you get off the stage, they'll feel like they know you personally. And use your real name, Kevin Hart. Don't be Lil Kev the Bastard.
So then the next time he was really authentic with himself was when he was managing or running the comedy circuit at Cheeks. Was it Cheeks?
Sweet Cheeks.
Sweet Cheeks. So it was a really weird environment because
it was a male little review club.
So it was a male review club, but the crowd was real tough.
Yes.
It was like
heckling you and I mean throwing chicken wings at the comedians and stuff, and he was terrified that he couldn't break the ice up there, you know.
the only way you can really do it is to keep it real. And then he went up there and he just kind of, like, everyone was getting booed off, and you know, they were real confrontational, and then he just came with how he feels about life, like, hey, I'm not gonna fight you.
Like, I'm scared to death of y'all.
I'm really intimidated. I'm trying to do a good job.
You know what I mean? Make you laugh.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. And then he kind of like got the crowd by really being himself. And then I think that was the second time like that he started to get like this authenticity about himself, and he started to realize, oh well, this is what it is.
Yes.
This is what they've been asking me to do, but instead I've been going off this 5-minute skit that I have that I always keep reusing. And then the guy said, when you start being yourself, you slow down. You won't be so fast.
Yeah.
You can
Pause
take breaks. You'll
bit.
pause. Like, it'll be so much more
in.
natural. And then he recognized that in those moments. And then I think like that's when he began like kind of creating his act that we know today. That's him.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. And it's so crazy that Sweet Cheeks and the swim meet was really the places that where it began. But then, you know, he produced all these things for us.
And like,
just
I
didn't
just
realize
really
it right away.
didn't know that he was in the movies, the Paper Soldiers and stuff.
Yes.
Like,
and that he wrote that.
That he wrote it. Like
Yes.
him and the other comedians that I heard of, I hadn't even heard it. Kevin Hart, like, I didn't even think, I actually watched Paper Soldiers a long time ago, but I'm like, I gotta go back and watch it with that Kevin Hart in there, you know what I'm saying? It was before I even knew him, you know what I'm saying? Knew of him, rather, and I just couldn't believe it. He said that, you know, if it wasn't for him getting that small part in that movie, you know, he might not have got the chances that he got today.
Yeah, that was like his foothold in everywhere in Hollywood when he was ready to move from New York to Hollywood. So the thing that happened is he did that. He directed it. He helped direct it. He wrote the skit for it. He had a part in the play, and the total amount that he got paid was $175.
Yes.
And he spent weeks on that.
Dame Dash's
months,
movie.
you know, yeah, and that's crazy.
Got money, you know, but it's still he feel like Dame Dash kind of helped jumpstart.
But he's not mad about it or anything. He feels like he had to do that for that lowly budget because he knew it was going to be a step up, and it was a great opportunity, even though it was crazy. You know what I mean?
Like $175.
He needed to get his name out.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then I wanted to say,
Make contacts, meet people.
and just like that whole, hey T, that whole process, we're videotaping. You can sit here. You can sit there if you want to watch us. that whole process
Can I
of,
move the hat?
yes, just move your, I moved it. We're good, leave her hat there. No, you don't need that, let it be, let it be. Sorry, buddy. We're having some, don't walk through the camera, like have a seat here. Thank you, son. Oh, Lord. Okay. He wasn't, okay.
Coming over here.
I know, right? This is my son. But,
Sit by me.
but I just wanted to reiterate, like, then the next thing that he did that was,
AP Tom.
yeah,
Yeah.
let us talk, just watch the video. So then the next thing he did, Soul Plane. Zero money. It was the first bootleg single that spread so wide that when the movie theater opened, nobody made money off of that film. But again, like, I watched it, I thought it was a great movie.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Because they all have illegal copies of it.
Yeah.
That's probably how I watched it, I don't know. But, and then like a lot of his, he felt like everything was going up till he got to LA, and then there was a point where everything went down. And it kind of talks about that process too, on how you feel when that kind of starts to happen to you, and then you have to make choices. And like when all that started happening, like the relationship was bad, had gotten like worse than ever before, you know, he had been rejected for these sitcoms. What was it? The Big House?
Yeah,
It went on, then it was
pilot,
off.
and he got paid like $275,000, and he was like, "I'm rich," you know. He's like, "I done finally made it." Called his mom and everything, and was like, "Mom, I'm making money now." And
He bought her house.
yeah,
He bought his fiance an engagement ring, a real one. They got married. But then there came that time when things didn't work out, and all we know is because we haven't read it yet, but that's when change came in his life. Like when it all got bad, and he wasn't getting the money, and he was owing people for taxes, and
Love you.
love you too. That's when he would hit the road. He asked his agent to book him.
Did all these college tours.
yes.
He wanted to just go on the road and not come back and get himself together, and that's kind of where we're at in the book. And I know we didn't cover it all, and I got a lot of stuff highlighted, and there's so many awesome quotes here that I could read to you, but if we do that, we just won't keep moving, and we do want to finish the book. But if there's something that you guys have highlighted that you want to talk about, I have something in every chapter, so I don't know how I could read something from every chapter.
When he discovers the internet. Were we there, or is it later? Instead of printing all these flyers, he sends email to all his fans and...
No,
No,
I don't think we're there
okay,
yet.
okay.
Did we? That's not on 250. No, that's
I
later.
don't know. What's 250?
We stop at 250.
I like. I had this part on the part that I like is on the chapter 55. 56, where he finally thought he got
210?
rich. Yeah,
Okay.
210. But I got highlight. Well, on 211, I like that he said a lot of his philosophy is that life is about making the right choices in the dark. Many people ask me what to do if they have doubts about their career or how talented they are or what their passion is. My answer, when it comes to the future, it's impossible to have any certainty. I may appear to be certain because I've learned to have confidence in my abilities and faith in my will to succeed.
Yes.
But what I don't know and what no human being knows is how we fulfill our destiny as individuals and what that destiny will be.
Yeah.
You know, you could just keep reading on and on and
It's
on.
written so well.
Yes. And
I never realized. I guess you just can't judge people at all, because I would have never imagined like
that he would write
this
so
book is
eloquently.
so wonderful. Like I love every part of it. But then when he was at his premiere, somebody even came up and wanted him to sign the bootleg.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
That's
oh,
how you
Lord.
know it's big.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't getting paid, but it was big.
Kevin Hart with Neil Strauss. He's the one who writes.
Oh, Neil. Okay, he just tells them the story. I don't know.
Yeah, you know,
Oh, you said-
edited.
Yeah.
Fixed
Well,
it.
he did a great job, because I feel like it
Yeah.
totally is Kevin Hart, but it's written beautifully, like great.
Yes, it is.
It's part him and part the other person, you know.
As long as his dad don't write any more chapters in
Yeah.
here.
So I think we're just gonna wrap it up with that. We want to wish you guys happy holidays. We really want to encourage you to read this book. This book is wonderful. It has a lot of small chapters, so it's easy to read if you're busy, because you could read 5 minutes at a time.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of chapters in here too, don't get me wrong, because they are small. But I say a chapter is 2 to 3 pages.
Probably if that.
Everything is just a little story. He has it chronologically like super correct. You're never like going back and you know what I mean? You're never going back and forth, going back and forth. It's not a
He's
mystery.
not reminiscing like in
Yeah.
back in chapter 1 you'll remember it's going in chronological order.
So I highly recommend this. This would be a great Christmas gift for somebody. I think anybody 8th grade and up could read this and really enjoy it. I feel like this is a great book for a young man.
Yes, it is.
Really, really, this is a great book if you want to encourage someone to have a great work ethic, because you cannot say anything negative about this man's work ethic. It is excellent. I mean, you know, like he'll admit it here, he had a spending problem and all kinds of other things going on, but as far as him putting out work and him promoting himself and him being diligent about his craft and him constantly trying to do something more, that right there is in this book, for
To
real.
make you
Yeah.
keep going and keep
Yeah.
on until you succeed.
And I love it. I love how he phrases everything in here too. It is super encouraging for someone, anybody like trying to do a business, trying to go to college, trying to figure out what to do in life, trying to like follow your passion, but you're not for sure like how you're supposed to do it. Like those things that you experience that sometimes you let go of because you're like, okay, this
When
isn't
you get
safe.
discouraged and
Yeah.
stuff and just stop it, like you said, it may pull you in a different direction, but follow the current. It will lead you to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I will say like he keeps it real about how hard you have to be willing to work when you want to do things that aren't traditional paths.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes, he
Because I mean, unless you're going to college to be a lawyer, there's a lot of hustle involved in a lot of other things that you do. Like you're not just, I don't know, to be a comedian, it just requires so much work.
Yeah. And even the traditional, the 90% of the kids, they're not becoming
No, yeah,
But, you know, even if you want to be a truck driver or whatever else, you know, you have to stick to your goal and work at it and not get discouraged
It's not
because
gonna
one
come
job
easy.
didn't work out or you didn't pass your test or things like this, you know. You'd have to stick with your plan
yeah.
and work on it, no
I
matter
mean,
what it is.
I know a lot of young people that try businesses and stuff, and I just
they-
love to encourage them, but I also agree, just like this book, like you have to have a side hustle. You have to, it's more than just this dream a lot of times to keep that dream alive, but then of course when you get an opportunity, yeah, you're gonna have to take the risk. But you also have to like play it safe to a certain extent, then take your risk and then be full in or full out, because it just is what it is. What did you get for Christmas?
I don't know.
What is in there? What is that?
I have a doohickey mabob.
So you clip it on your book and then you turn on the light and you can read in the dark.
Oh my God, I needed this because I will tell
I
you,
know.
I was thinking about getting bifocals because I was like, you know,
It'll be
this
easier with
Kevin
this.
Hart book is a little
When you
strained
get
on
through
my
it,
eyes.
turn this off.
This is nice.
So peace, you guys. We'll see you
I like
January
this.
8th.
That's nice. This is what I really
Merry
needed.
Christmas and a blessed
Merry
New Year.
Christmas, happy holidays.